Hey everyone! Welcome back to Speako Talko English, where learning English feels simple, fun, and truly powerful. I'm your host, Sarah, and today we're going to explore something that confuses even advanced English learners: gerunds and infinitives. If you've ever asked yourself questions like, should I say I enjoy to play football or I enjoy playing football? Or maybe, is it I decided going or I decided to go? Then today's episode is going to clear it all up for you, step by step, with easy examples and real-life expressions you can start using right after this podcast. So, grab your notebook, relax, and let's make English learning exciting again. Part 1: What are gerunds and infinitives? Let's begin with the basics. A gerund is simply the ing form of a verb, like playing, reading, swimming, or dancing. For example, I love reading books. She enjoys swimming in the morning. Here, reading and swimming are not just actions, they're being used as nouns. That's what makes them gerunds. Now, an infinitive is the to plus base form of a verb, like to play, to read, to swim, or to dance. For example, I want to learn English. He decided to leave early. So the main difference? Gerunds often show enjoyment, experience, or activity. Infinitives often show purpose, plan, or intention. Sounds simple, right? But the tricky part is knowing which verbs take gerunds and which verbs take infinitives. Let's get into that. Part 2: Verbs followed by gerunds. Some verbs in English are always followed by gerunds. Here are a few of the most common ones. Enjoy, avoid, consider, suggest, finish, mind, keep. Let's put them into real examples. I enjoy reading English stories before bed. She avoids eating junk food. We consider moving to a new city. He finished cleaning the room. Notice something? Every time, the second verb ends in ing. So, you can't say I enjoy to read, that's incorrect. The correct way is I enjoy reading. Here's a quick tip. Whenever you talk about an activity that gives you pleasure or experience, use a gerund. Part 3: Verbs followed by infinitives. Now let's look at verbs that are followed by infinitives, that is, to plus verb. Here are some common ones. Decide, plan, hope, want, agree, need, promise, learn. And here are the examples. I decided to study English every morning. She hopes to visit London someday. They agreed to meet at 5 p.m. He promised to call me. Notice, all these verbs show intention, decision, or purpose. That's why they are followed by infinitives. So remember this simple formula. When you plan to do something, use an infinitive. Part 4: Verbs that can take both, but change meaning. Here comes the fun, and sometimes confusing, part. Some verbs can be followed by either a gerund or an infinitive, but the meaning changes. Let's look at 3 important ones. 1. Stop. I stopped smoking. Means I quit smoking. I stopped to smoke. Means I paused another activity to smoke. See the difference? One means you quit, the other means you paused. 2. Remember. I remember meeting her last year. I have a memory of it. I remember to meet her tomorrow. Don't forget to do it. 3. Try. I tried calling him. I made an attempt, maybe it didn't work. I tried to call him. I made an effort, but maybe I couldn't reach him. So here's the key. Sometimes, the form, gerund or infinitive, changes the time or focus of your meaning. Part 5, Everyday English Examples. Let's make this practical. Imagine a normal day in your life. You might say things like, I like watching movies on weekends. I want to travel next summer. I enjoy cooking, but I hate washing dishes. I hope to buy a car soon. I finished doing my homework. She decided to join a new gym. Every sentence mixes gerunds and infinitives naturally. And that's the goal, to make them sound smooth and effortless in your daily conversations. Part 6, Common Mistakes to Avoid. Let's fix a few common errors English learners often make. I suggested to go there. I suggested going there. She avoided to talk to me. She avoided talking to me. I want learning English. I want to learn English. He decided going abroad. He decided to go abroad. When you speak, always pause and think. Is this about an activity or a plan? If it's an activity, use ing. If it's a plan or goal, use to plus verb. That small habit will make your English sound 10x more natural. Part 7, Quick Recap. Alright, let's summarize everything you've learned today. Gerund equals verb plus ing used after certain verbs like enjoy, suggest, finish, avoid. Infinitive equals to plus base verb used after verbs like want, plan, decide, hope. Some verbs can take both forms, but the meaning changes, like remember, stop, and try. If you can remember these 3 golden rules, you'll never get confused again. Part 8, Practice Time. Let's do a quick speaking challenge. I'll say a sentence with a blank, you fill it in. Ready? I enjoy blank or novels. Answers. Reading. He decided on blank or the gym. Answers. To join. She avoided a blank about the problem. Answers. Talking. They hope a blank abroad. Answers. To travel. Simple, right? Keep practicing like this, and your English will sound fluent, natural, and confident. Learning English isn't about memorizing grammar, it's about understanding why we use certain forms. When you understand the why, your brain stops translating and starts thinking in English. So, next time you speak, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every time you use a gerund or an infinitive correctly, you're taking one more step toward fluent English. And remember, fluency isn't about speed, it's about clarity, confidence, and connection. Thank you so much for joining me today on Speako Talko English. If this episode helped you, practice today's sentences aloud, because speaking is where real learning happens. I'm Sarah, signing off. Keep learning, keep smiling, and keep speaking English every day.